Hey, it's Chris Westfall here. I saw a question posted online by someone getting into selling insurance over the phone, and their question to other agents was, why do I keep getting the objection of the Social Security number when they actually get to an application for insurance? In this case, it was life insurance done over the phone. Why are the people objecting to giving their Social Security number? And I have an answer for that. We go into depth on that on MedicareAgentTraining.com, but just some quick tips if you're selling any other kind of insurance out there and you get the objection. The problem is trust and credibility. So if you're already at the application stage with somebody and then you just now discover the fact that they don't trust you enough to give you their Social Security number, there's been a breakdown way back in the presentation phase of your conversation with someone. So when we listen to someone long enough to find out what their problem is, to see if there's a product or a service that we can provide for that person, and then we start to deliver what our solution is, if we have not listened intently enough to find out really where they are, to check in with them on their trust level of what you're presenting to them, then everything that comes after that, all your presentation on what the product does and the product's great and this will solve your problem and make you feel peaceful at night, you can sleep well and all this kind of stuff and take care of all your needs. They don't hear any of that unless at the forefront you've made the foundation, which is, here's who I am and here's my qualification to present to you the solution. Because if they're scared of who you are and they don't believe who you are, and a lot of our seniors are this way, they are justifiably worried about being defrauded, and they should be. And Medicare and Social Security, they always put out these public service announcements on TV saying, don't answer the phone, don't give out your information. Why is that? Because there are people who actually prey on seniors. So knowing that, you should have that as an integral component of your presentation. And I believe you should have it at the very beginning. Like, okay, before you're going to listen to anything that I'm going to tell you about, let me tell you about a little bit about my background and why you should listen in the first place. Any designations that you have, any articles that you've written, your license in their particular state. You should be able to bring all that stuff up so that they can see it right away. If you're not doing a screen share, you can send all that information to them in something that they can see, like a PDF document, or you can direct them to a website where you already have your trust and credibility there for all to see in full transparency. One of the things that we do, if we've talked to someone who has no idea who we are, and before we get into the product phase of it, we'll actually bring up the fact that when you do decide to move forward on an application, these are some of the things that the insurance company is going to ask for. We have to verify that you're not somebody impersonating someone else, so the government does a check. They verify your social surveillance number. That's how the government checks on everybody, is social surveillance number. They check on your date of birth to make sure that your age is appropriate for the product that we're selling, all these things. So that it's not going to be a shock and a surprise when you get all the way down there. Even to include their banking information. Let's talk about how these policies are paid for. They do a direct deposit withdrawal right from your bank. Why? Because that's the safest way to transact money these days. It's backed up by the Federal Reserve. I'm sure you've heard of them before. Social Security only delivers your money in one way now. That's direct deposit. Why? Because that's the safest way to transfer money. And it has the added benefit of not having to mail out checks with all your personal information on there so that people can steal your checks and bleach your checks. That was a big problem in the 90s. That's all been replaced now with safe and secure direct deposit. So in order to set that up for you, we need your banking information as part of that application, the hypothetical when we get to the application. Then one thing that we do once we get to the screen share is we take it one step further. Yes, we've done the credibility correctly. We've told them what to anticipate on the application so that they know it's ready. Then if and when we get them on a screen share, we're methodically going through field by field on the application. And those that are the most skeptical are going to be the ones that pay the closest attention to what you're doing. They'll be looking on that screen and looking at every field, and they will see first name. Okay, ma'am, I need your first name. Your first name is this. Is that correct? Am I spelling it right? And then when they're participating with you, that transparency builds trust and credibility in and of itself. So they're participating with you and looking on the screen and verifying that you've got the spelling correct on their first name, their middle name, their last name. And then when you get to the tab where it's going to have in that field their social security number, they already know, they're anticipating that information is going to be necessary and why. Why? It's part of the application, as you can see right here. So you should just be able to move right along, and in many cases when we're doing an application, we'll tab over, get to that spot, and because they see that it's there, and they're used to giving us the information as we go through the application, they'll just rattle off their social surveillance number so we can have it as part of the application. And then, what's really important, after you've talked about who you are, you've built the trust and credibility, you've told them what to anticipate on the application, you did the application with them verifying all this stuff, it's very important for what they call buyer's remorse, which is a natural instinct in anyone who has ever made a purchase. After the application, it is critical that you get something tangible in their hands as soon as possible. Now, many of our insurance companies will generate in the Medicare world a temporary ID card, and some of them will do it right away. So we get that temporary ID card. The client either gets the email of it at the same time as we do, but we will send that to the client as well with an email cover that says, here's your ID card, congratulations, you're approved, and all that kind of stuff. That does some good, but what I'm saying is get something tangible, really that they can feel, something like they can feel it in their hands as soon as possible, because they've just committed to a virtual transaction. The money, as soon as they're approved, is going to leave their bank account, and they're wondering when they go to sleep at night, what do I have to show for it? You know, 1 out of 1,000 cases, we'll have somebody actually call in and go, oh my God, what did I do? I'm calling my bank. Or they'll tell an uninformed relative that they just bought insurance over the phone, and that relative will say, oh my God, you got to run to the bank real quick. You just gave some stranger access to all your bank account. Oh my God. Not knowing that you're a licensed professional doing regular business over the phone. So one of the most important things you can do after you consummate the sale, after it's over, put a letter in the mail to them. Use a card service. Get a card in the mail to them, thanking them for the transaction. All your contact information in there, your photograph, great way to build trust and credibility and get referrals in the future. And then a synopsis of what they bought and why. What was their key point for buying the insurance from you? Was it to protect their loved ones and their family, or their nest egg, or their bank account, or their medical bills? Whatever that trigger was most important to them, make a reference to it in the card. If they had a yappy dog in the background, you found out what the dog's name is, it's Trixie, and Trixie's a golden retriever, put that in the card. It makes it more personal. And we've actually tested this. The more you can reach out to them in a personal way that's tangible, the quicker you can do that, the more happy that client will be, and that's when they will start to give you referrals. When they know they're kind of scared, they make the transaction's done, now they get something from you, and then a week or 10 days later they get something from the insurance company. Now this is settled in their mind. Now they can feel safe and secure to refer you to everybody else that they know. So I hope that's helped you a little bit. Just make sure, as a component of every presentation, you do not leave out, as the most integral part you can put in there is your trust and credibility component. That can include your insurance license, maybe your driver's license too, block off your driver's license number, and maybe your date of birth, year, or something. Whatever you can put in there so they can see you. If you were in the military, put pictures of that in there. Put pictures of your family in there. Make it so that you are a real, relatable person that's fully accountable and transparent, so they can go find you. You can even do a screen share where you can find yourself on the Department of Insurance website in their state. There's nothing better. So I hope this has been a little tip that'll help you out. And if you're getting repeated objections of the same thing, and it all comes down to personal information, there's something wrong with your trust component of your credibility presentation. Have a great day. Bye-bye.